This is a Headgum podcast.
Hello, Dolly. Well, hello, Dolly. It's so nice to have you back where you belong.
Wow. That was me lip-syncing Hello, Dolly, as sung by my guest today. The year's 2004. Okay?
Yep.
We're going to do highest grossing films of 2004.
I truly can't guess one.
Okay. Okay. Remember, this is highest grossing films.
Yeah.
These are not our Oscar girls.
Sure.
These are not our
movies I didn't maybe go see these movies.
Yeah, but they were. I'll give you a hint.
Can I guess one? I feel like maybe there's an X-Men in there.
Okay, you're in the right world because you can always guess there's either a DC or a Marvel movie on the list. You are in the right world.
Was it? Oh, so like a Spider-Man.
Yes.
Is that? And are we still in Toby?
Yes, we're still in Toby, and it's
Sally.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
And I believe Spider-Man 2, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that's the one with Willem Dafoe as the Green Lantern, not Green Lantern, as the
whatever
villain.
It is, he is. Is James Franco in that one, or is he in the first one, or both?
He's in both.
Okay. And Alfred Molina is the baddie, right?
Alfred Molina.
He's Octopus Guy.
Is in the second one.
And you know who's in it? You know who also is in that is Donna Murphy, who's a Broadway actress.
Love.
Who plays Dr. Octopus's wife in that. And Donna Murphy did the matinees of Hello, Dolly when Bette Midler did Hello, Dolly a couple years ago on Broadway. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
I will. Honestly, the world is connected, honey, and that's how we prove it.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, so Spider-Man 2 was number 1.
Oh, okay.
Number 2, and you're not gonna guess this. I know you're not. Would you like me to give you a hint?
Give me one hint.
The most famous story in the world.
Oh. It's the Mel Gibson Jesus thing. What was that called?
The Passion of Christ.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Have you?
Me either. No.
I'd like to.
I would.
I mean
That's
to.
the next movie that we are going to go to Charles's house to try and watch and not actually watch.
Love that. That sounds great.
Around Christmas, why not?
Why not? Because it's about... Well, no, it should be around Easter, right?
Oh, yeah, it's about his resurrection?
It's not about the birth.
Oh, that's right, because then it would be the birth of Christ.
Yeah, the passion is like, hang me upside down on the cross.
Yeah, was he upside down?
I don't know. No, he wasn't.
he was
just nailed.
Yeah.
He was just nailed. But I feel like in the Bible... he is upside down, but like no one's ever done that on screen, but I may be making that up.
And that's when our movie comes in.
It's upside down Jesus, honey.
Here's this. The story of Christ, but here's the twist. He's upside down,
darling. Everything's falling out of those pockets.
And I know what you're wondering. You can see the dick, okay? Number 3 is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Sure, whatever.
Number 4 is The Incredibles.
Okay.
Number 5 is The Day After Tomorrow.
What was The Day After Tomorrow?
I think that's like an apocalyptic
film. I like that one, yeah.
Who's in that?
Is that the one with John Cusack?
Guy.
Or is that 2012?
I don't think John Cusack is in Jake
Gyllenhaal. Well, he's hot.
You know, it's either John Cusack or Jake Gyllenhaal.
the two hotties of our time.
Hotties of our time. Then it was, talk about another hottie, The Bourne Supremacy.
Yeah.
Which I believe is the second...
I have no idea. I've never seen any of those movies. I
was a big Bourne head.
I like that type of movie, and I like Matt Damon, but I just have never known when to dive in. You know what I mean?
For me, I'm a big Julia Stiles gal.
She's in those movies?
Oh, yeah, babe.
Good for her.
Everyone was like, what happened to her career? What happened to her career? You know what happened? She did all the Bourne movies, and she was like, I'm good.
So rich, I'm going to go live back in Canada.
Yeah.
Did you see the new Orphan movie?
Yeah. Oh, the Orphan.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Orphan First Kill.
Oh, my God. She's great in it.
Yes, she's amazing.
She's wonderful.
Amazing. Class.
Good to see her
Class
again.
act.
Absolutely.
And then the last two biggest, highest grossing films were... Oh, sorry. The number one highest grossing film, I completely fucked this up.
Not Spider-Man 2.
It was not Spider-Man 2. It was another 2, Shrek.
Shrek 2. I thought Shrek 2 was so much older. I thought those movies...
We forget.
That they're like our era.
I know.
They feel like they've just always been around.
They feel like we were born with them.
You know that I've never seen them?
Good for you.
And I don't plan on it. I don't wanna.
You never should.
I don't like animated movies.
Yeah.
I don't like animation. It gets on my nerves. I eventually get a headache within like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
There's something about it.
They're ugly. Cartoons are ugly.
They're ugly, and there's something about non-Disney cartoons that take the ugliness one
to
step
another
further.
level. I know.
Like, I don't need that. I don't need that.
Here's what I'll say. I'm a purist for animation.
Yeah.
Give me the original Sleeping Beauty where it's
I'm fine
gorgeous.
with that. Gorgeous. Come on, that's great. And it's like 80 minutes.
Don't give me some
It looks
some
like a
fucking
bad video game or
yeah,
something.
some mom whose body shape is an engorged peanut with two little fucking toothpick legs.
What
yeah,
movie is that?
I don't know. And like
I
and
like it.
You know
I
what
want to see that.
They make everyone ugly.
Oh, the Incredibles.
I think this is going to need to be deleted because they're going to say that I'm body shaming
cartoon
animated characters.
But it is, somebody needs to do it.
You know, somebody needs to say the truth. And the truth is
that cartoons are ugly. They are. I mean, they are. They are. Like when people are like, look how, Aladdin was my first crush. It's like, okay, well, you're a creep. Like that's bizarre.
No, and
that's
also,
not a person.
People had huge crushes on Aladdin, and people had big crushes on the prince from Little Mermaid, who I don't even remember his name.
Eric.
Prince
I
Eric.
do know it because people are always talking about it, and then people I mean, I'm sure you've been down that wormhole of cartoon porn before.
Oh, absolutely.
That's kind of one of the only things I do like about cartoons is that
when
it's led to that world. That's interesting.
I love anime.
Do you?
I mean, and how it looks aesthetically.
Yeah, well, we differ there. As a kid, I wouldn't watch cartoons either.
I didn't watch. I was not a. I was actually that's not true. When I was a kid, I loved to watch Rugrats.
Oh, that's true. I liked Rugrats.
I loved to watch Hey
Doug
Arnold.
and Hey Arnold.
I loved Doug.
Yeah.
I loved Rocko's Modern Life.
Okay, that's true. Those are good. That's a good
I think that what we're talking about is the Pixarification of animation.
Yeah, and I don't love fantasy. I like those shows are great because it's just Hey Arnold's just a slice of life.
Kid in the City.
Kid in the City, why not?
Yeah.
He lives with his grandparents.
It's like Seinfeld.
Yeah. But somebody that's all of a sudden a talking shoe that can go to space, I'm asleep. You know what I mean?
A talking shoe that can go to space.
You know that movie.
Yeah. No, it does feel like sometimes it's the pitches for animation are what people see in the room as they're pitching.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, they're it's a wooden coffee table. And the wooden coffee table, at first you look and you say it's plain. But there's nothing special about this wooden coffee table.
Close with that chair. Yeah. You know the chair. You know the one.
And the chair's kind of gray and
but also kind of textured.
Yeah.
It's been sat on a few times and the tag's hanging out. And yeah, I fucking hate cartoons.
Well, where were we when we were hating cartoons?
Shrek 2.
Shrek 2.
Big hit. Big hit in 2004.
In 2004, Shrek 2 came out. My guest was in Rome, Georgia. And my guest today, I haven't even told the world who you are, is Jeffery Self.
Hi, nice to see you.
I am
Thanks
absolutely
for,
throbbing on my chair that you're here.
I love seeing you.
I love seeing you.
We see each other in social interactions.
And we love it.
And it's always lovely. It's always chic.
It's always fun. I'm
it's
laughing.
We always have a good time. We had a wonderful evening the other night.
Gorgeous.
Just you, me,
Michelle.
Charles, Michelle Badella, and that was it. At Charles's gorgeous house.
Some might call us the Quad.
And it was fun.
It was fun. And we were supposed to watch a film.
What were we going to watch?
We were going to watch, I believe.
In my mind, it was about Schmidt, but it wasn't.
I think it was Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
That's right.
The gay one.
The other about Schmidt.
Yeah.
And
not about Schmidt. It was about Schmidt 2.
We didn't get there.
We didn't get there
because we just
gabbing.
Did we eat sushi?
We ate
Joy.
We ate Joy. And we had those delicious chips. Those corn chips.
Oh my God. Oh, they're great. They're great.
Delectable.
I'm telling you go because you got them at Vons.
Yes.
The corn chip, just the regular tortilla chips that they make them at Vons.
And they're delectable.
And like, you can get like a bag that's like £1.
Yeah.
And it's like $2.
It's beautiful.
It is. If you live in Los Angeles and you don't have those in your cabinet
You're
at all
playing
times,
yourself.
get out of here, move back to New York.
Exactly.
You know?
You don't belong
Like,
here.
You just don't.
Now, did you eat a lot of tortilla chips as a teen?
I did.
You did?
Well, there was a Mexican restaurant right down the road, and it took me a long time to get my driver's license, and I could walk to it, and so I ate at Las Palmas quite a bit.
Was it good?
Oh my God, the best. Because in Georgia, like, they have like cheese dip that's like, it's not like Texas cheese dip, but it's like a very specific.
Is it like a pimento?
I don't know what pimento is.
Like pimento cheese dip? Like what? Beer
no,
cheese.
it's not like that. It's not like that because I don't like that. It's a white cheese. It's very creamy. It's very heavy. It's hot, obviously, because it's a dip.
Hot, creamy white cheese.
It is so good, and you can't like It's just. I think it's a Southern thing. You can't get it anywhere else. But I had that pretty much every day. And hot chips.
I want to do something up top that I never ever do.
Okay.
But it's important because I do want all of my listeners of this show to be aware of your podcast coming out.
Thank you.
I literally want you to plug it now because
I will forget.
Because it's also that important to me because I love both of you that are involved.
It's myself and my dear friend Cole Escola.
Cole Escola is, they're
the best. They're the best.
They're the best.
And it's the first time we've worked together in like a decade, and we're so excited. And it's called Breakfast Buffet, and you can get it anywhere podcasts are available. Thanks
Fabulous.
for the plug.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing that because I would have forgotten.
Well, I was just like, because I know listeners at the end of shows can like fall off, thinking like, okay, it's done, whatever. They're falling asleep,
drunk.
and I want to hit them now and say, bah!
Yeah.
Listen to Breakfast Buffet.
Listen to Breakfast Buffet.
Yeah.
Pull over the car. Turn this podcast off. Switch over.
Go to Breakfast Buffet.
It's quite short. You
Listen
can come
to Breakfast
back
Buffet.
to
Come back here.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so you mentioned this before we started recording, and I have to obviously know more. You homeschooled yourself
for all of high school.
So explain to me how, why, what happened.
So, okay. Elementary school, I went until 8th grade, went to the same school, St. Mary's School.
Catholic?
No, that was just the name. No,
okay.
Of course it was Catholic. and it was like a Catholic school. When I first started going there, nuns.
Oh my God. Would they smack your hands?
They were kind of like cooler than that. Like it was kind of nice. It was like, we weren't even Catholic, but it was the type of school. It was just like a very sweet, small, very community. Uniform. My brother went there. My sister went there. They're older than me. And so I went there. And nuns were gone by the time I was in first grade. The principal was replaced by a former nun, a woman who had left the convent and was still an educator in the Catholic school system. She had left the convent with her now roommate and fellow dog rescuer Peg, no joke. And they ran that school.
Okay.
And slept in separate beds. And so she ran the school the whole time. And it was actually like a really lovely, like wonderful growing up experience. Small school. There was like a really great like music and drama teacher who I was very into. And it was just like this wonderful childhood experience. And then it was going to end at 8th grade. And I was going to either have to go to like this big fancy private school in my town. Where Ron DeSantis used to teach, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. And
what the fuck did his ass teach?
I don't know, but he would have taught there when if I had gone there, he would have potentially taught me.
Now, I wonder if
he would have run for president if he had taught me. No. He wouldn't have made it. He wouldn't have gotten there.
I wonder if there are any listeners of my podcast that went to this school that had Rod. I called him Rod DeSantis. Rod DeSantis.
I know that they've been trying to get in touch with people that were taught by him for various reasons in the press.
Well, I'm curious. Like, what if he was like your beloved teacher?
He was like your like Mr. Holland's Opus.
Yeah. And then now he's like Demon on Wheels.
Yeah. I mean, what if? You know?
You never know.
You never know. So I didn't go there. and I didn't go to like, it was like a big, like the public school was like really, really, really big. And so it's like I'd gone to class with like the same 18 kids for like all these years. And then I was going to have to like be a part of like hundreds and hundreds of kids. And I had a chip on my shoulder and ego and was like, I don't want to be not the most special person in the room.
Fair.
Told my parents I was afraid of school shootings.
Which also...
Yeah, I was. But I was also just like, I don't want to go to school. And so then they let me. I found this like online... Are
you the baby, by the way?
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. So at that point, they were and my brother's literally 20 years older than me.
Yeah,
so at
like,
this
whatever.
point, they're like, whatever.
How old was your mom when she had you?
My mom was in her 40s when she had
Love
me.
that.
And so they were just like, sure, whatever. I found the program because most of these like homeschool programs that you do yourself are, because my parents were like, we're not teaching you.
Right.
But most of the ones, like there were all these like VHS programs that were like not teaching evolution, that kind of thing. And I found one based out of Ojai, California.
That's so...
Right? And it's still there. It's called Laurel Springs. And it was like, you did it all online, like early days of the internet. Like, so this was like 2001. The first day I started homeschool was 9/11. And it was, I taught, like I had these two teachers, Joy and Phil Diskin, shout out, a husband and wife. The husband taught math and science and things like that. She taught like literature and history and stuff like that. And they would create all of the like studies and the lesson plans, like a week-to-week basis at the start of the year. And you could work at your own pace.
Whoa.
So you could like, if you were like really productive one week, you could like do 3 weeks of work in a week. I very quickly realized I could just like not do anything all year.
Right.
And then like wait until the like last
Very
month
end.
and just like figure it out. I know nothing. Like I truly know nothing. Like I was not educated. I did not do anything. And my parents were at work all day.
So what did you do?
I watched The View. I'd wake up in time for The View.
Wait,
every
hold
day.
on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So The View, like, so The View's on at 11 on the East Coast. And so I'd get up like at like 10:30, I'd like, at the time, like they had just come out with these Uncle Ben's rice bowls.
Oh, I remember those.
Oh, they were so good.
I remember those.
The perfect size. It wasn't too small, but not too big. I'd have that for breakfast, which is like disgusting and like truly horrifying. And then I would eat that while I watched The View.
Would you drink coffee?
No, I wasn't a coffee person. No.
Tea?
I was like a sweet tea person.
Love that. Very Southern.
Very Southern. And so I'd like have sweet tea in my rice bowl, and then I'd watch The View for the full hour. And I'd like try to do a little work from like 12 to like 2-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd watch a movie. And then I'd watch like a movie. And then it would be basically time for my mom to get home from work. And then we'd watch TV. And
would your mom be like, how was your school day?
yeah. And they would like she would like call and check in throughout the day because she worked at like a picture frame shop. And she'd like call and check in and be like, are you getting anything done? At the beginning, she was way diligent about it. And it was like really sweet and cute. But then like within a year, it was like she wasn't checking at all. And I was very, 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 very involved in my community theater.
Okay. I was going to say there has to have been, because you're so social and like you're so good at connecting that you could not have just been.
But it was not people my own age. Like it was just like women over 50 at the community theater who would like pick me up, bring me to play practice. We'd go to play practice. We'd do the thing for the 3 or 4 hours. Then me and all these gals would go to Red Lobster almost every night. Sometimes Waffle House, but usually Red Lobster. And they'd all just like get a Diet Coke and like those cheesy biscuits and like calamari. And we'd just like shit talk everybody in town. And that was like my every night. And then I had a falling out with the community theater because like,
why?
Well, so they like let me direct a play.
And how old were you?
14.
Oh my
which
God.
Is shocking. They let me direct A Miracle on 34th Street. It was
and
14.
Also, when you're 14,
a full cast, like a cast of like 50 people, most of whom are adults. And I was a nightmare, obviously. And it was a great show. It was a great show. You can't argue with the audience. But I then tried to do a play, like get to direct a play the following year and like applied. And they turned me down to direct Jack and the Beanstalk. And I was
Wait,
pissed.
they let you direct Miracle on 34th Street.
Like, and it was like a full production. Had like a budget of $12,000, you know?
Oh
And
my God.
We had big sets. It was good. I did a good job. But I think, I was a little out of control.
You're pushing people. You were getting them there. You were getting the performances there.
I was screaming. It was, it was definitely like working through rage and frustration. And then they didn't let me direct a show the next year. And I was like, burn it all down. And so I started my own community theater to like rival them.
Oh.
And then that became all of my high school experience. Then that was just like all of my day because I'd like go around town and I'd go to all the businesses and like get them to be like sponsors of my shows. And then
what was your community theater called?
So I was like really pissed and I was like, the reason I want to start my own theater is like I'm not being challenged by the Rome Little Theater. So I started a theater called The Antidote Theater Company as an antidote to like the schlock
God.
they were peddling over at the RLT. Wow. And I would like the different like local colleges and high schools would like use their buildings. And I would like do like 5 or 6 shows a year. And then I did that until I moved away from home. And so like then that was just like my life.
Now is that theater still around?
The Antidote Theater Company? No. I mean, that would be truly shocking. That would be truly shocking.
You'd have left behind a real legacy.
I would have really. I mean, there was a very brief period that I truly considered like not leaving my hometown and just like staying and running the community, like running a community theater.
Okay.
I would be a crystal meth addict, for sure. There's no question in my mind. Like crystal meth from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed.
Crystal meth and sweet tea.
Sweet tea. Oh, a lot of sweet tea.
Yeah.
I'd weigh like somehow 400 pounds.
Yeah. Even though you weren't eating.
Even though I'm on crystal meth.
Yeah.
But somehow like just binge eating while I'm like directing children and screaming at them. I'd probably be dead by now too. But
community theater.
Nothing better.
Nothing brings me more joy.
Did you do it?
No.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons.
Well, also like because you grew up in DC, right?
Yeah.
So like in a big city, community theater is different.
Exist.
Yeah.
Like I would have needed to go outside of where I was living to find the community theater to be a part of. Like, I was also in the ages that I think people really get involved in community theater, which I feel like is your childhood.
Yeah.
And then more your like preteen years.
And then if you're like really sicko,
then
it's
high
like
school.
high school, it's like this is my life.
Yeah.
I don't need my peers.
Because a lot of people then are like, well, fuck community theater. I'm just going to dump all my energy into my high school theater department.
Yes, that's correct. And I, because I didn't have that. And then I also tried to like, because like if you were a part of like this sort of like community, like this like homeschool network or whatever, like different kids from homeschool could play on the public school sports teams.
Right.
So I then tried to like infiltrate that and get to be let into the theater, but they wouldn't let me.
Really?
Because I wouldn't actually like join the like homeschool club or whatever.
Right.
I was like, well, I don't want to do that, but like let me be in like your production of Into the Woods.
Right.
And they needed me.
They did. Of course they did.
But they didn't have me.
Did you have any friends your age?
So, no. I mean, kind of. So at the community theater, there were a handful of people, but I kind of like, because I was like a director and a producer, I was like kind of above them.
Yeah, that's fair.
But there was one boy that was my age, that was involved at the community theater, that was gay, that like we never spoke to each other in real life. Like in person, we would be in plays together, we would be in rehearsals together. I directed him in plays. We would never speak to each other in real life, but like every night on AIM, 4 hours every night. Like,
and then you wouldn't speak?
And then we would like not even look at each other. And then he was in my production that I produced and directed of A Midsummer Night's Dream with all children.
I was mustard seed in that.
Oh, were you? We could have used you. We had a very weak mustard seed.
You could have used me.
I also adapted it, and it was called A Midsummer Night's Dream Remix.
What was your adaptation?
I mean, it was basically like I took the play, and then I like took the like Shakespeare for Dummies version.
Yeah.
And kind of like took every line that I was like, well, I don't understand what this means. I was like, all right, what does it mean here? Let's just say that.
Yeah.
You know? And then like made it a little shorter. And I also added Cat Stevens songs. I did. And so he was that was an all children's production. And he was cast as Lysander. And we had a falling out. He started seeing another boy. And I fired him from the play. And I took over the role.
I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed.
I then played the role. I was like, you're cutting up at rehearsals. You're not taking it seriously. I need you out of here. You're bringing down the cast. And it was only because I had seen him with another boy at Waffle House. And I'm not kidding.
And it always goes down at Waffle House.
It always goes down at Waffle House. And so I fired him from the show. And I played the role. And I did a pretty damn good job. Yeah.
We're going to take a little break. And we'll be right back. And we're back. I'm like, I need this to be like.
I want to write it into something. Like, I don't know if it's a show. I don't know, but.
A teenage? Okay, also, were you out?
I mean, yes, in that, like, I existed. But, like, and so there was, like, no one was like, oh, this kid is, you know, a lady killer.
Right.
But I was not, like, to my mom and dad, I was not out, but I wasn't, like, claiming to be straight. And I think that was also the homeschool thing was, like, to avoid having to, like,
deal with all
the
that.
prom or homecoming or any of that kind of stuff. But, like, and, like, to some of, and, like, all of the older ladies that I was BFFs with, no. And a lot of them were, like, vaguely homophobic. And, like, so there was that. And some of them were, like, also married to gay men. Like, and it was just, like, a can of worms that none of us wanted to open.
Right.
But there were like a handful of girls from my elementary school that I was close with that also did community theater that I was out to. And we were like close, but like they all had like real high school lives. So like we never hung out outside of the theater. Like they would like go to football games on Friday nights. And I was like, honey, I've got tech in the morning, you know? Like, and I didn't hang out with too many people my own age, which was in retrospect a weird move. Like,
no, I get it. I was, especially when I was in elementary school, I really like when I was in the third grade.
Yeah,
I was like, elementary school is for the birds.
Yeah.
All of you guys are whack.
You're all children.
I want to be drinking Chardonnay with my mom and her friends.
Exactly.
I want to be in a power suit,
100%.
smoking a cigarette,
100%.
listening to fucking Joan Baez.
100%.
Like, I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah. So, I mean, I avoided that, but like, yeah. And then I was like really close with the ladies for a period. And I did a production of Steel Magnolias that really bonded all of us, obviously. And it was a big hit. We extended, not to brag. And
how long were your runs for?
Usually 2 weekends, but that one we did 3.
Wow.
It was a hit. It was in a black box, though.
Would you guys make money? Or
I would make money.
You would?
Yeah. And like, my dad was like so like confused by it. And like, he like was doing accounting at the time and was like, would like try to like help me with it. I wish I had let him, but like they did make me save a lot of it.
That's good.
And then it wasn't like crazy money, but like
any money that you're really making as a child, also like entrepreneurial child. That's like, I'm starting my own theater company and look at this, we're making money.
Yeah. But then so I like saved it. I feel like I like had like $10,000 saved by the time
that's a lot.
I graduated high school. Yeah.
That's a lot
from like plays.
Yeah.
From like doing shows. And I would like, and I think I would do like I would do like things where you could buy like a VIP ticket and like you could have like go to a wine and cheese cocktail party with me, before the opening night.
Would people do that?
People would do it. And like,
how would you get the wine?
Well, like my mom would like host it. My mom did house management for all the plays and would like set up the whole thing. And like, it was and my parents were like people that people knew in the community because my mom had owned this dress store, Ragtime Boutique.
Love Ragtime Boutique.
And then she then worked at the frame shop in town that everybody went to, Hanging Around Rome.
Yeah.
And good title. And so people
That's an amazing title.
It was a good one. It was a good one. And and I think people just like wanted to support,
That's gorgeous.
It was very beautiful because it's such a weird town. Because like on the flip side, it's like that existed and was like, this is like not like this pre like everybody loving gay kids, and
I mean, I would still like to say that in a lot of pockets of the world, we're still everybody loving gay kids.
My hometown is where Marjorie Taylor Greene lives. She literally lives 2 blocks from the house I grew up in where my parents live. Yeah. I mean, I've seen her. I've seen her multiple times when I'm in town. We were in line one Christmas ago or 2 Christmases ago. We were in line at a barbecue restaurant to buy lunch and with my parents, me and my husband, Augie. And my dad was like, "You're not going to believe it, but look over at the bar." And we turn around and Marjorie Taylor Greene sitting on her own, having an ice cold beer on her own at the bar. And Augie was like, "I have to go say something. I'm going to go say something." Which is like if you saw Hitler in real life, like you have to say something. And my mom like grabbed him by the arm and like with true desperation in her eyes went, "Please don't. I love their mahi mahi." And they go there like literally every time. And it's like, I mean, it's really like unfortunate because they do love this restaurant. And my parents are not like that. But like, it's got like a sign out front that says, "Let's go Brandon." They've got the whole, it's Marjorie Taylor Greene's favorite restaurant. But like, and I don't think the food's very good. But like,
but
my
your mom loves
parents
the
fucking
mahi.
loves their mahi-mahi.
So and you can't take the mahi away.
No, you can't. But I'm saying though, but that kind of town. So like supported that in like 2002 and 2003.
It was potentially maybe more liberal.
Yeah. And now it's literally Marjorie Taylor Greene's like
backyard.
Town. It's where she like hangs out.
That's fucking wild.
Truly wild. Truly a wild place.
Did you have any like romantic relationships outside of the guy in the community theater?
Well, I was like, so once I got my driver's license, actually before the driver's license, I was very involved in like chat rooms and there was like xy.com, which was like a gay, I'm sure you would know about that. At the time, I think there was Adam for Adam was big at the time. And I would, because I had the house to myself all day, have, let's be real, grown-ass adult men over to hook up with me when my parents were at work. So dark.
Oh my God.
And we lived across the street from a college, like quite literally across the street.
Wow.
And it was it's a world-renowned Christian university. And I would get lots of like closeted college freshman boys, which was super hot. And then by the time I graduated high school, I was dating a boy from that college who was a theater major there.
Wow.
And then he broke my heart.
He did?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, I thought I was like in love with, it was like the first boy I ever
know,
dated.
but it's so intense.
I thought I was in love with him. You know what's really nice about it? He lives in Los Angeles now and he's a bartender at one of my favorite restaurants.
You're lying.
I'm not. And I like to go in there.
And does he say hi?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like, hi.
Hi, Negroni, please. Up.
Wow, this is deeply fascinating.
Yeah, but then once I got the driver's license,
then you're
all
mobile.
bets are off.
Yeah.
I mean, oh yeah. I mean, I one time hooked up with a mall security guard in a town 2 hours away at the mall. in the bathroom.
Wait, what?
Yeah, when I was like 17.
How old was he?
I do not want to think about it.
You're like, it was Kevin James.
I mean, it basically was that character. And I was like, I am a gorgeous boy. Like
he was like pulling up on his Segway.
Basically, yeah.
Oh my God.
And I had to and I told my mom, because I was worried they were like, no, because I'd driven so far away. That was where the closest Target was. And there was that Target. No, sorry. That was the closest Joann's Fabric.
And you had to get props.
And I was like, I have to get material for Auntie Mame costumes.
Oh my God.
But I mean, so there was some other people like my own age. So I guess like there was some hookups with like peers, but I would I would have to drive towns
It's
over.
more interesting when they're not your peers.
100%.
Who would make the costumes?
Sometimes me. But I couldn't sew or anything. But
right.
like stapling fabric together. Very drag race. But I did a lot of thrifting. I was very into thrifting.
Yeah.
I was very into eBay and buying vintage.
We love eBay.
And depending on the show, people provided their own costumes.
Love it.
I got involved with, after a while, I got there was like a local symphony, like where people who played instruments would like get together and play. And I got them to start collaborating with me to do musicals and concert. So that didn't require costumes.
Oh my God. You were prolific.
I was so prolific then. And then I had by the time I left my hometown, I was like, well, I'm tired.
I know. I was going to say, did you have a feeling when you finally were out of your teenage years?
Yeah.
You had a whole career when most people were just fucking jacking off and going to school and falling asleep and smoking pot.
Well, yeah. And then I went to college. I tried to go to college. And I got there and was like, I only lasted 5 months because I was like, wait, I'm not the most important person in the room. North Carolina School of the Arts. And it was like,
you get there and you're like, hi, I'm here.
Hi, I'm here.
And it seems as though all of you are forgetting that I'm here.
And it was like everybody was that kid from their town. And I was like, where is my 60-year-old lady friend that played Malin? Where is she? I need her. Can we bring her in?
So then you left and then you moved to New York?
Left, moved back home for a month, was aggressively depressed. And then just basically one day was like, I'm moving to New York, and did.
Damn.
And I was 18. Yeah.
So crazy.
But I think I always think about what I feel like my life would be 1 trillion% different if I had gone to regular high school. And I think in some ways better. I think I would be better at structure in some ways. I'd be better at I'd have less of a chip on my shoulder socially. I feel like I'd know more. I truly did not do any work. I just did not. But I read plays all day. I read books all day. I did that. So that kind of shaped who I am. But I do wonder if I had actually at one point taken a test, that it would helpful.
I mean,
in some ways.
By the way, now they hardly test kids.
Yeah.
Standardized testing is optional to apply to most colleges now. You don't need to.
Did you do it?
Of course.
Did you ace it? I feel like you
would. Fuck no.
Oh, you didn't.
I was a terrible student. I went to really, really, really academically rigorous and competitive private high school where, everyone's identity is wrapped up in getting into an Ivy League.
Right.
And there was such a premium placed on that. And I was more interested in shit that you were interested in. I was like, I want to read my books. I want to watch my films. I want to gab, gab, gab. I want to create the texture of the person that I am. So for me, traditional schooling, what I wish is that I could have gone back in time and fucking paid attention.
Yeah, I think,
because I was there, but all of the quote unquote learning or the knowledge that I have, a majority of it is me now being a hyper curious individual
Right.
and like educating myself.
Yeah.
Which does kind of upset me because my parents paid so
Right.
much money for me to
To go to this
have
fancy
this
school.
amazing education. And I just think I took it for granted.
But I don't think that's like 99% of everybody.
Yes, but I do think it's 99% of everybody. And at the same time, I'm like, oh, well, there were always the kids that were like such amazing students. And I'm like, yeah, but they're also miserable teenagers. They were like stressed out, miserable teens.
Yes.
And I definitely went through moments where I was a stressed out and miserable teen. But when the moments where I wasn't, I was like, I'm just a fucking teenager.
Yeah. But did you like party and stuff?
Yeah.
See, I didn't even party. I was like, because I was hanging out with these ladies.
You didn't even have like a sea breeze or something like that?
Well, by the senior year of high school, my dad started buying me Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Love it.
And I got into that. And
Yeah.
then we slowly got into, like
Mike's Hard is a
screwdriver.
gateway. Yeah.
And then, by first year of college, it was like, going out to boozy lunches between classes. But but it was never like hardcore, like party, like college party. It was like I would literally go have like a martini at lunch and come back to class, with a fake ID.
That's so funny.
But I do wonder like how it would be different.
I mean, look, in some ways, maybe
I should go back to high school, you think?
Yeah.
I think I should do like a Billy Madison.
Yeah, just go back.
Yeah, I think I might. I really think I might.
I think though that honestly, you are such a fully realized individual,
Sure.
and you have such you're so rooted in who you are.
Sure.
That I wonder if not going to high school helped you solidify that.
I think so. Yes, but I also wonder how much of that started out as artifice in high school and then just sort of to be artifice to be the person in control, the person in charge. And then the artifice just sort of took over, and now I'm just a version of that at one point wasn't authentic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe did that when that began? Did some other part of myself die? And we won't ever know.
We'll never know.
But if had I been taught by Rob DeSantis, maybe
your life would have been completely different.
Maybe I'd be this just just somebody who loves goes out and is oh no, just a hot tea for me, and I got CrossFit in the morning.
Yes, I gotta go push a tire.
Yeah,
it's just gonna be a tea.
Then I'm doing some political activism, and then
we'll see where the day has in stores.
Me, and then I got to pick up my kids at 2, and then my wife gets home at 3, and then
dinner's on the stove at 4.
Yes, and then bedtime at 5.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually, that sounds great.
I mean, I was like, ideal day.
Yeah, kind of amazing.
Knock, knock, knock. Is that a door knock I hear?
Oh, no.
Why, yes, it is.
Hi.
Welcome to the high school guidance counselor's office.
Oh.
I'm your high school guidance counselor. And in this section of the show, you get to rectify a wrongdoing of your teenage past.
Okay.
You get to say, fuck you to someone or apologize to someone or both. And then you just get to rid yourself of that trauma. So you can use this time however you would like.
I would say it would be an apology.
Okay.
Probably to the boy I fired from A Midsummer Night's Dream, who has since reached out to me. He lives in Atlanta.
Okay.
He must have some kind of normal person job where he makes money, because he invited me to sit at his table at a GLAD fundraiser once. And I was like, I'm not flying to Georgia to sit with somebody I haven't seen in 12 years at an event I would avoid if it was happening in my backyard. But he, he seems well. I won, but he seems well.
Yes.
But I was truly so cruel to him. I was just you're not taking this seriously. You're not even very good. I'm taking over the part. And he continued to do a little bit of community theater after that. But I have to believe that in some ways I crushed a little bit of the drive.
The dream.
And so I would say to his name, which I'm not going to say because he is now
You can
a
call
big
him
celebrity.
by the role that you
Lysander.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I when I saw him at the Waffle House with this other boy, because it was another boy I had tried to message on xy.com and he wasn't into me.
What was your AIM screen name?
My AIM screen name was, I thought I had spelled Mr. Cellophane, which is the song from Chicago.
Yes.
But I know nothing and can't spell.
Yes.
So it was Mr. Cellofan. And so that was me.
That's really funny.
So this guy, the guy that Lysander was with at the Waffle House was like, I think he was like a year older than us. He worked at the American Eagle in the mall and he looked every inch of it. And
Hot.
yeah, and I wanted it. And I was also like, I had no style. Like I was truly an ogre. Like
what would you wear?
Well, I used to dye my hair red in high school because I thought
what shade
that was
of red?
interesting. Oh, like a hard, like a Kathy Griffin red.
Love it.
You know what I mean?
Love it.
Very red. And it was like just poofy and thick. And I had just like zero style and just like.
What was your go-to outfit?
I had a big oversized denim jacket.
Love it.
And like drawstring pants and
what color?
Probably like a dark forest green, whatever Gap had. And then always Birkenstocks, but like not cool, cute new Birkenstocks like we all know and love today. Like a traditional like cloggy, stinky, wearing them without socks when you shouldn't be in Georgia summer, Birk, and bad hygiene and just like bad, unflattering glasses that were always sort of crooked But I was convinced that all these boys wanted me. And so when I saw Larry with this boy, I was so devastated that I think it was more about Larry. Oh, I'm saying his name.
Lysander.
Larry. I can say Larry. His name was Larry.
Yeah.
And Lysander, Larry, all the same. And I think it was that he was he fit more into that. And it wasn't even that I was jealous of like, he not loving me. I was like jealous of like the other guy wanting him over me.
Right.
And so I would say I'm sorry to Larry for trying to destroy him because of that.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful apology.
Yeah, thank you.
And we forgive you here on Senior Superlatives.
Thank you so much, guidance counselor.
And we have a classmates corner today.
We do.
Okay.
So Alex writes in, my high school experience was defined by the school's improv team. I was and am a big comedy nerd, and it gave me the space to find my own voice. However, in my freshman year of high school, I was the only freshman girl on a team full of juniors and seniors who were all friends, so I became isolated and shy. They started to pick on me, and I became an inside joke between them. I was so awkward and didn't have any real friends on the team, so they'd target me for jokes, and it made me feel like absolute crap. Once they graduated, I found my confidence again, and I ended up becoming the captain senior year. Hi, redemption arc. I graduated high school last year, 2022, and I'm in my first year of college. I got into the improv team here, and I'm starting to relive some of those anxious feelings I had in high school. How do I separate myself from that? I don't want to isolate myself again, and I want to be confident and make friends on the team, but I feel like the awkward new kid all over again. Stay cool, never change.
Oh,
that's very sweet. When I first heard that, though, I forgot that like I was the one that had graduated from high school in 2004, and I was thinking that this person started high school in 2004 and they just graduated in 2022. And I was like, get it together.
Yeah, they're like, so I've been in high school now for 18 years.
Got a few more problems in the improv team bullies, baby.
What would you say to her?
I mean, just like, look, you won.
Yeah.
Not that it's a competition.
No, it never is.
Life should not be competitive, and especially not comedy.
No.
Nothing competitive about the comedy industry.
No, or entertainment at large.
No, it's really even and like
fair.
Healthy.
It's very
healthy, fair, grounded,
yes. Real.
Good for the world.
Good for the world.
Really good for the world. No, I would say that like, I feel like every good thing in life comes with a bunch of shit before it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a perfect example of it, and that you're going to experience more things just like that that are waves of shit before it. And
This
then
is true.
lovely, wonderful, fun times where you are the captain.
Exactly. Don't let this, I know that it's very triggering, but like, remember where you came from. You've gone through it once. You can go through it again. And also you could just say to them, cut the shit.
Cut the shit,
Cut
baby.
the shit. Don't be fucking mean to me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, cool. You're not like, I'm not doing improv
We're
with
not doing a Comedy Central roast here, folks.
Yeah. I'm not doing improv with like Don Rickles. Like it's just, you know what I mean? Like, no, these people aren't
What I
like
love
comedy
is your-
legends.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, this listener
This
probably
isn't a Whitney Cummings
yeah,
we're dealing with.
Exactly. You're not on stage with Eliza Schlesinger. Okay? You are literally on stage with your peers.
Yeah.
And they should treat you with goddamn
With
respect.
Natalie from Chemistry.
Yeah.
And
So
she's
you
a
go in
barrel of
there,
laughs.
and you know what you need to do? You need to go in there and you need to say this. Look, all of you. It's going to be hard for all of us to make it in this business.
And by the way, you're not all going to make
And
it.
you're not all going to make it.
Yeah, some
you're
of you,
not.
especially the ones that think you are.
Yeah.
You certainly aren't.
And you know how you're not going to make it? By bullying me. Because
Correct.
I'm going to make it. And when I make it, I will remember you.
Yeah.
I will remember you.
I mean, it sounds like this
There you
person,
go.
that was really good. I mean, I think this person will be running Mosaic by
Absolutely.
the end of the day.
100%.
Yeah.
This person, you will go on to do great things.
Yeah.
And just know that. Just be a quiet killer.
I do envy people who saved some energy in high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who were just like, I kind of like, just kind of went with it and just sort of did it and was like, it's going to be over eventually.
I just wanted it to be over, but at the same time, I was like so broody and like I was always in love. Ugh.
That's my 20s. Always
Yeah.
in love. Never
Never
successfully.
loved back.
Never. Is it love or like, I think mine is more infatuation and then wanting to destroy
lust,
people.
yeah.
Again, it's the Lysander Larry of it all.
Wanting to destroy people.
Yeah.
If you could go back in time and give your high school self any advice, what would it be?
It would be like, be a teenager.
Yeah.
Like, just fucking be a teenager. Like, it's cool. Like, don't be like above it. Like, don't be above it.
But then your whole empire wouldn't be
My
what
whole
it was.
empire would have crumbled. But it's like I guarantee you there's plenty of time to go to a Red Lobster with 60-year-old women.
Yes.
There is. And it can wait.
Who did you lose your virginity to?
The guy that is now a bartender here in LA.
There you go.
Yeah. And
Wow.
but not until I was, I mean, this was like, like actual sex, but it was like, not until I was like 19.
So the gentleman callers that were coming over.
Gentlemen callers were more of just like a
little
kissy, touchy.
kissy, touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But never sexy sex.
Yeah.
Because I
Paul
think that was
Blart.
also like, too, I was like, oh, I don't, but yeah.
Sex is,
Paul Blart.
you're at a stage in your life where I can imagine you being like, sex is so passe.
Right now?
No, like when you were a
then?
teenager.
Yes, then and
Because
now.
you were probably around like jaded
100%.
women that were like
100%.
complaining about their lives. And they're like,
Like,
oh,
ugh.
and then this and and you're like, oh, sex is disgusting.
Quite literally,
And like,
yeah.
who needs it?
Who needs it?
You know?
Well, that's basically it. And it's kind of remained that in a lot of ways.
Outside of eating the Ben's rice bowls,
Uh-huh.
what was your like go-to lunch snack? What was your favorite?
Made a lot of smoothies.
Mm.
But I, at the time, thought smoothies were just like
Milkshakes?
strawberries and like milk and vanilla, seasoning, or not seasoning, but
vanilla
flavoring. Yeah,
extract?
vanilla extract.
That's
yeah.
really
So there's a
funny.
lot of that, and then like putting peanuts in it or peanut butter.
Yeah, protein, babe.
Got to get the protein in. So there was a lot of that, and then I also worked at the Barnes & Noble Cafe serving Starbucks products briefly.
I used to fuck with the Barnes & Noble Cafe in
Do you
DC.
remember, and they still have them, only at the Barnes & Noble cafes, not at Starbucks, but the Reese's peanut butter cookies?
No.
They are I will
divine.
literally stop at a Barnes & Noble if
Just
I'm
to get
passing it on the
one.
freeway just to get a cookie.
You know what I was a sucker for?
What?
And this was more so in middle school before I became like aware of my body to the extent that teenage girls do.
Yeah.
My order after school,
Mhm.
and then I would obviously proceed to have insane diarrhea after this. I would get a grande white chocolate mocha with skim milk
Okay. Good.
and a chocolate chip scone.
Oh, wow.
Does anybody remember this?
Yeah,
The chocolate chip
I
scone.
remember the scone.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they would use those chocolate chips that were squares.
Mhm.
And it felt, and it was layered in, and it was like, wow, that combo was
That's cracky.
so divine and insane. And then I would have it, and then after school, I would either go to my friend Lillian's house or my friend Allie's house and just shit. Like hard shit.
Lillian's mom is like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Greta came over again, doesn't she?
Yeah.
All right.
Lillian's mom was like, please, for the love of
We'll get the
God, go to
toilet
Greta's
snake.
house. Terrible.
Lay down some towels,
Yeah,
please. Greta's coming over.
Can you make her do it outside?
My mother used to pick me up. This was like elementary and middle school, but would pick me up at like 3:00 every day, or my grandmother would sometimes pick me up and immediately either take me to McDonald's or Long John Silver's or Dairy Queen and have a full meal.
Yeah.
And then like proceed to have dinner like a mere 2.5 hours later.
I know.
I also, as a kid though, like in elementary school, I couldn't stand to look at children eat. There was something that really grossed me out about it. It still does. Like looking at like the way children
They're
eat
sloppy.
is so gross. It's so gross.
Sloppy. There's
I
food
cannot
all
do
over
it.
their faces.
Cannot do it. Like if I like have friends with kids, if I have to like I can't sit near the kid.
You
if
know
we go
what
out
it
to
is?
dinner.
They finger. It's like their
Disgusting.
fingers.
It's truly disgusting.
I had a similar thing actually. I had an aversion with watching people who played with their food. Like I could,
Yeah, still.
like people that I can't even say.
I know what you mean. I truly get it. I
literally,
get it.
I'm thinking. I want to tell you what I'm thinking about.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I
Bread
literally,
balls.
Yep.
Do you know what that is?
I do know what you. I do, and I hate it. I hate that kind of thing. I
sick.
hate that kind of thing. It's so gross, and I think that's why they must have. I guess I wasn't eating during the day, and they must have understood that. So that was why.
I'm literally
All the
thinking
fast
about. Oh
food.
my god! I'm thinking
No,
about this girl that I went to elementary school with who used to make. Take
I
a
hate
piece
her.
of bread,
I hate
make little bread balls. Are you ready for this? Make
hate
little
this
bread
fucking
balls.
bitch.
Basically, a bread ball is when you take a slice of bread and then you scoop out chunks of it and you roll it in your hand. So it's, it becomes like gnocchi. I can't. And
hate
she would
it.
put it in a bowl filled with ranch dressing.
Oh God!
And then eat it like a soup.
I don't. Oh. I truly can't.
I need some water after that.
She is awful. I wish nothing but
Dementor.
pain for that
A
person.
dementor.
Like, that is not good. That's not good.
You are unwell. You
No.
need to go and get checked out by a child psychologist.
Fully agree. I couldn't. I still can't look at children.
You
eating.
say to friends with kids, put the
them
kid
at the
in
other end of the table.
closet.
Put them over at the other end.
Yeah.
I'll sit over here.
Yeah.
Little baby
Little
over
baby.
here can sit over there. Actually, I don't mind babies eating. Less disgusting.
Oh yeah, it's when the kids get in charge.
In charge. Yep.
In charge.
In charge. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Yeah.
It's sick and it's wrong.
Sick and it's wrong. So I would imagine though, teenagers eating probably just as gross, but I didn't have to experience it.
There's a specific thing that happens in LA, which is the teens. And look, I grew up in DC. I grew up in a city.
Yeah.
I grew up privileged. I grew up around people with a lot of money. And when we were in high school, though, like we ate Chipotle. We ate Potbellies. We ate Quiznos. Like I would go to like Subway. Like that's what we ate after school, you know? Last night I go and eat sushi with my sister to this like expensive sushi restaurant. And like teens, like post school, we ate an early dinner. These 3 teens come in and these fucking 3 boys, they eat, I'm not kidding you, 100 pieces of sushi.
Go home.
And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, my sister and I, we got our little sushis. We spent $70.
Yeah. It's just like these rich kids.
And I'm just like, I'm like, can't you go and shove your hole with something with fucking Qdoba?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like go
Five Guys. Go to Five Guys.
Yeah. Go to In-N-Out.
Go to In-N-Out. You're in LA. Go to In-N-Out. That's where you belong.
I'm like, what's going on?
No, I don't. I have not experienced watching teenagers eat.
And the quantity that they eat, this teenage growing boys.
Totally.
I'm like, no.
Do you want kids or you don't want kids?
I don't know. I don't want to ruin this body.
Yeah, I get it. One of the main reasons I don't want children is I don't want to have to see them eat.
Yeah.
They would probably starve because you're not eating in front of me.
They'd be like, here's what you can eat. Grapes.
Yeah. Grapes are fine.
Yeah. Apple slice.
Apple slices and potato chips.
And maybe
if I'm out of the room.
cheese.
No, that's gross. Because that's very like peely and
peely. I guess maybe, you know what's not terrible is a Baby Bell. But then they have the wax to play with.
What's a Baby Bell?
What?
I don't know what that is.
Those little like Gouda cheeses that are red.
No, I don't want that. I don't like. I don't like things with wrappers.
Yeah. Okay.
That grosses me out. Wrappers
Disgusting.
gross me out. I'm very grossed out by a lot of things revolving around food, but I don't like sauces. I don't like people like. I can't even think about some of these things.
And I don't want you to.
Something about
I can't even think about some of these things.
But like that idea of those cheeses that have like a wrapper, that is disgusting because then there's just like this wrapper
then they can
sitting
play
there
with that.
That's like has cheese on it. You know what else I can't look at?
What?
Straw wrappers. I can't look at straw wrappers.
Oh yeah, well they're a pain in the ass.
They're grotesque.
Yeah.
They're grotesque.
I know.
I don't know what about it.
Yeah.
I don't
Honestly, it's like I don't care if it's sterile. Take it, give it to me naked.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't want it in its clothes. I want it stripped down.
100%.
Take its little dress off.
Yeah, take its little dress off.
Let me see what it's got going on underneath.
Let me see that straw's panties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, I can't believe I'm at the end of this podcast already. I got to know, like, if you could have given yourself a senior superlative.
Well, I did.
What do you mean?
Well, when it was time to graduate, my mom was like, I have given money to every one of these kids, your cousins and all this stuff when they graduated. So we're going to have a party so that people have to buy you gifts. And I was like,
Smart.
hell yes. And I was like, I'm going to do one up on you. And not only are we going to have a party, a little luncheon in the backyard, I'm going to do a whole graduation ceremony that I'm going to produce. And so I did like a whole thing and I did like...
Did you wear a cap and gown?
I wore like a bathrobe.
Okay.
And like I made like a cap out of like a grocery bag, like a paper grocery bag, the flat bottom part of it. And I like did like a whole thing where like I had like someone read... like the superlatives.
Yes.
And then I kept getting up to accept them all. So like I
That's
accepted like
very
most
funny.
popular, most likely
So
to
you
succeed.
you got all of them.
So I've got them all, folks. The high school diploma, not so much. But the superlatives, yes, papa.
How long did it take you to graduate high school?
I did it in the 4 years. But probably that senior year was about a week.
Wow.
You know, because that senior year, by that time I was just like lazy.
Yeah, you were like, I just want to get the diploma.
And I would convince the teachers at that school, I'd be like, well, look, instead of like doing this semester of, English, whatever, English lit or whatever, I'm directing Midsummer Night's Dream in my hometown. If I film it and send it to you, will you just give me a grade?
And they'd be like,
sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's
they
fair.
Were probably like, I've never met them. I always think about trying to find them when I'm in Ojai. But then I'm like, I don't really want to do that. But
I mean, it would be interesting to just
because I have no idea what they look like.
Right. It's almost like you want to find them just so you can see them.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily want to talk to them.
I'd love to like find their address and like peek in their window.
Have you ever Googled them?
No.
But here's the thing. I love you for coming on my show.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so lovely. Always.
You know what? You are welcome to come in and audit.
Yeah.
These sessions.
Well, because I could audit to learn about high school. It's not a bad idea.
You know what? Anytime you want.
It's a good angle.
Anytime you want.
I'll take it.
Where can everyone find you and listen to you?
If
they've made it this far.
At Jeffery Self on Instagram, JEFFERY Self.
SELF.
That's right. And listen to Breakfast Buffet with me and Cole Escola.
Absolutely.
Thanks for letting me plug that.
If you want to write into us, please send us an email at seniorsuperlativespod@gmail.com with the subject line Classmates Corner. Seniorsuperlativespod@gmail.com to have Tevi, my bully, read your classmates' corner. And, give me 5 stars. Give me good reviews because positivity is what fuels me.
Everything.
Positive reinforcement is what fuels me. And unfortunately, I just don't love critique.
I don't love it.
I don't
Keep
love
that to
it.
yourself.
I just don't love it. And I don't want it. I don't want feedback.
Talk to your friends about it.
Yeah.
Gossip behind my back.
Yeah.
All you want.
Gossip behind my back, babe.
But make sure, go out of your way to make sure I never hear about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Please.
Double down, lock the doors, turn off the phone, then talk bad.
Yes, precisely.
Okay, well, as we say every week, stay cool, never change. Until next time,
Cool.
ciao.
That was a Headgum podcast.